So at one point he's like, oh, it's going to take us a whole night to walk back. He's like, Fushi, let me borrow that gun. Rich grabs the gun, boom, blows his head off. And then the Messar's like, yo, shoot me right here. Boom,
no,
boom.
I can't do it, dude.
So, like, they need to teleport to where they need to go. So they're just blowing their brains out. What's even worse is citizens are seeing this.
They call him a murderer.
Yeah.
Fushi a murderer.
Yeah. Then because Fushi goes to shoot the guy so he can respawn. God, that was clean. And we're back with cross-examining episode 122. There we go. I'm Matt. That's Justus. We're on to our C list today. That includes Naruto. No. I'm kidding.
My Hero Academia season 6. To Your Eternity season 2.
Trigun Stampede.
Vinland Saga season 2. And Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible.
Kubo-san. Speaking of invisible people, Justus, we still haven't seen Invisible in My Hero. Oh, man. My Hero.
Vigilante Deku.
Yeah, woo, baby. Let's go. Dude, Deku's over there like, I'm leaving this school. Emo phase. Don't follow me. We got to save Deku.
Look, I mean, it makes sense why he's doing what he's doing. That, especially with the...
Uchiko, that was so sad. She's like, Deku, why you leave me? He's like,
idiot.
I'm Leo Baga. Listen, Deku's fighting villains.
Fine. His bedroom's open. I'm sure she didn't just like take advantage of that and just do weird things in his bedroom.
I'm sure he took his stuff with him.
No, he definitely did not.
Listen, you think like, that dude... Listen, when he met Mr. Night Eye and he didn't step on the limited edition All Might poster, it's like, that dude definitely took his All Might stuff with him.
Nah, I mean, he's too busy. Where would he put it? The parents are officially
the dude
living
you see
at
from what was it? Season 2? Or was that season 1? The muscle dude?
No, that's season 3.
3, yeah. Fights him. That was a whole episode of like, man.
No, season 2?
Pretty sure it's season 2. Because that's where he meets the bunny people.
Season 3 is Overhaul.
I need to be better at just writing other characters' names down because it's kind of hard.
He's a muscular whatever.
Muscular dude. That basically I was like, is that Bakugo's dad? And it was like, nothing ever happened with it. Because Baku's dad is just a lame dude.
Yeah.
You could see why during this season. Whatever. He goes to fight that dude, and it's like, wow, this is going to be a big old fight. Dude, it was like a minute and a half, and Deku's like, this is me at 100%. I was using 45% of my power. I'm like, what?
I mean, this is my 100%.
Yeah. He hits him and takes the dude out on one shot. I was like, wow, Deku just like dunked on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's like, I'm so much better. I can fold my muscles 10,000 times after that kid that vibrates.
Yeah.
But you get to see citizens being mad. They're like, we're going to protect ourselves in our city. I'm like, kind of cool that they're rising up. And then you see those people connect with the heroes of like, oh, even these kids will sacrifice themselves for us. You're seeing opinions like start to change.
We still don't want you to die.
Yeah.
Like
you're seeing the embers build up to a fire that is going to go over the city and make people cheer for the heroes again.
Hopefully, yes.
It's
everything is doom and gloom for the most part.
And I hate it.
There was a furry lady that like was
she was
harassed.
Like 7 feet tall, man. Listen, the comments on that episode were not good.
I think I'm a furry now.
That Hugo 69 if you're watching.
Love
you, buddy.
He is
well, he's saving people. He's just going out and but they're using Deku as bait to pull out All for One.
Yes. The big thing though is the secret is basically out.
Yeah, there's rumors everywhere about it.
Yeah.
And All Might's having to tell other heroes about it. And Deku told everyone in his class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to get out.
And Mom.
Yep.
Mom now knows too.
Which is kind of that like, God, he wanted to protect her from this.
Yeah, and then they do the callback to the original like heart-wrenching scene where it's like All Might is saying he'll do everything that he can to protect him.
They do give some more confirmations of like, okay, people are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gran Torino's okay. And Deku's new scarf that he has is like Gran Torino's like
cape.
And it's like, There was a super sad moment that I didn't cry. I almost cried. Didn't cry. When he's having a talk with everyone in his powers, Deku is.
The previous wielders.
Yeah, and the guy was like, tell Gran Torino, like, I'm sorry or something like that. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Something right in the feels, man.
Yeah. And they do a interesting job of showing the previous wielders.
This is not beer. This is tea.
And like their different powers and the revelation that basically the only way to truly take advantage of One for All
is to have no powers to start with.
Yes, because the quirks conflict.
And it leads to an early death. Because they point out one of the guys died at age 40 from old age, just from the strain. And I was like, oh, damn. Because first of all, they played him up to be like a shut-in eat. Like, he probably just had a heart attack. It's like, nope. Died of early age because he had powers to begin with.
Yeah.
So Deku's the perfect.
Which is why All Might was also equally the perfect person for that. Yeah. He didn't have a quirk, and he had it for 40 years. Which also puts really into perspective just how, like, All for One, how old he is.
Yeah, because he's been there from all the others. So there's at least 40 years and, like, another 40, like... Or like it's 25. It's been through a lot of generations.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing about it. But they do start to introduce 2 more new heroes or 2 more previous wheelers of it.
Yes.
It's kind of cool seeing the emotions going on just in this conversation. And when Deku gets really heated about wanting to, like, still save him, and he wants to defeat him without killing him, even though everyone wants him to kill him and it was kind of a test, you can actually see his mouth at that point when he's actually getting into it. And then when he kind of loses getting into it, then covered again. So, I don't know, some foreshadowing.
Yeah, there's... I'm assuming it's because the direct emotion required, like, in that scene where he's connecting physically more with them, so he's more present in that specific scenario. You also get, like, All Might basically has a golden kind of like little figure thing in there, and he's like, I don't know exactly what's being said, but like I know a conversation is happening and all of the direct emotion like is just being delivered back to him because there's a physical connection between them. And
I mean, it was the whole thing was cool.
Got All Might crying. In
the
little
I'm sitting there like, don't cry, you're doing better. Listen, there was one. So they introduced basically our next villain of, I think, like kind of the mini arc. Not quite. Yeah, so first of all, Overhaul did escape. And this girl, Tutsumi, she's basically has purple and blue hair, which is I like her character design.
You like her because she looks hot.
Yeah, strong, powerful woman, man. She's a strong, independent woman, Justus.
You see this? This is Mosin. That's my girl.
The gaunt lady, I'm like, okay, settled. Yeah. I'm sure it means something else, but they played it. I'm like, also she
her
has
arm is a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
and her hair is bullets.
What do you want, man? She like curls her hair, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of a cute, quirky thing. She goes, I'm like, she pull out her hair, it's like, and it's a bullet. I'm like, well, hold the phone.
Injects in the middle of her palm. And
yeah, she goes like this, and I was like, yo, what the hand do though? But they do make a point. They make a point that the cowboy hero points out that she is a very deadly shot. Like within 3 kilometers, she can make the bullet basically go wherever.
Yeah.
And Deku's like, yo, why would I run away? Let's get closer. I'm like, Deku, my man.
I mean, it makes sense. If you're closer, it's harder to hit. And he also has, it's really like a matter of convenience to a certain degree. One of the previous wielders' original quirk was
danger detection.
Yeah. Oh, something bad's about to happen. And it's like, well, congratulations, it's from fucking Spider-Man.
It's from Shina Mori. That's the guy with the scars on his face, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, it's cool. That's kind of where the episode's end. I don't want to go too into it on there. Yeah. But I think My Hero, this season started like just a hair kind of whatever. Got big. But the thing I hate is it was kind of top down. And now they're kind of staying at a good peak. You're seeing Deku go into the vigilante portion of this, which is what people wanted.
Yes. Even at the end of that, there was a specific title card where it's like, shit, which was the final arc begins.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, here we go.
It just feels weird that My Hero is going to...
One more season. I would assume it'd probably only be 13 episodes next season.
Yeah, I think there's got to be one more season unless they're gonna end it like this. But I feel like it's not climactic enough to end.
We only have 5 episodes left.
Are they doing a movie?
I don't know.
I feel like My Hero would be better off with a movie, but they also did this thing where they're like, yeah, the movie counts. Like they were pointing out stuff in some of the movies that like they had flashbacks. Like, oh, so the movies are canon. They're just not kind of a whatever thing.
Necessary.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's gonna be a thing where I don't know. Because if the thing with Bakugo and Deku in the movie when they kind of like shared the power at the same time, but Bakugo passed out before he could fully acquire. It's like that's cheap cop out. You know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens. Maybe I don't know. It's so weird because they even talked in the hospital. Deku's like condition has gotten a little bit worse, but it's not drastic.
Mm-hmm. So it's because he's stronger. I mean,
I wonder if it's gonna be a thing where Eri will get involved, and she'll be the one to erase his power, both their powers together, because their powers branched off together. Maybe erasing both, or maybe Deku will have to give up his power, which would be kind of sad. Where it's like, I don't know.
I don't think so because this is like the story is established and starts with how Deku became the #1 hero. Like
defeating All For One would make him the #1 hero.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know. I kind of hate that thing of like seeing the great good guy like go away. Like when All Might lost his power, I was like, no, he lost his power, and I was like, that's kind of real sad because he was like the symbol.
Yeah, but
it's got to happen. Not all stories can have the perfect happy ending.
Yeah, and the show's done a good job of creating like character emotions, not just like here's this like quirk dude that he does weird things because that part of his quirk. Like Endeavor could just be the hot-headed flame dude, but you get the other sides of like what drives him and like all of that, and then especially this season that this is what like the show's been excelling at is like the character development itself.
Well, also they're trying to establish the students becoming the new heroes and everyone retreating on. So all in all, I mean, I think the season's pretty great on there. Everyone's kind of like, well, they did point out that everyone's like going back into like retreating and they got to stay safe. Hey, speaking of people needing to be safe, yo, March is up and alive. Oh God. Also, nothing happened the way we thought it was going to happen.
Absolutely not.
Dude, this show is like, oh, we can predict it. It's like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I feel like my big prediction.
I'm happy with that, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's not been predictable and that my
big prediction
have been subverted.
TC Peach is going to die to keep the secret. It's going to be a point where he has to sacrifice himself. Listen, the biggest thing we got to talk about in To Eternity is Fushi's getting like beat up by the knocker in what's his face's arm. Here, you look that up. So basically, the other guy that's on their team, the knocker Kohaku, which has been, I feel like it's been a whole like thing to get him.
That's fucking long con.
Yeah, the long con, and then Fushi, he loses like off the bat. We see like 6 disappear, or not quite disappear, but just get killed right away because he's trying to transform to get out of there. And then March comes out of nowhere on the horse. I'm like, they're going to kill her or she's going to live. And I feel like I don't know what's going to happen, Justus.
That was the ending 5 seconds of episode 3.
The last episode. The third episode we watched. And it's like, you bastards. Improvise was there and you left because I had to talk to him. He's like, I'm trying not to swear, but those motherfuckers. Who was in charge of the cliffhangers? And I was like, dude, every single time. Like the last 3 episodes we watched, because we ended on the perfect 3rd episode. Yeah. March slips out, wakes up in the field of flowers. I'm like, now I gotta wait 3 weeks to watch this. What the hell? When this next episode comes out, I'm watching the video. I don't care. I'm gonna watch it right away.
Yeah, it's a lot's happened in these 3 episodes.
What do you mean a lot's happened emotionally and physically? Everything has happened. Not a lot, just as everything has happened.
So yeah, it's established, and Fushi now knows that March is alive, and they do that thing where they're like, "Oh, you knew it was gonna happen, but you weren't gonna be ready for it." Yeah, because March is over there like, "Mommy's here," and it's like, "You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!"
Listen, if they killed this woman again, I'm done. I am out. Oh my god! But then they do the thing where Fushi tried to bring March alive after he finds out the three. So our three hero guys
who are supposed, were brought together to be the other immortals for Fushi.
Yeah, they were basically brought there so Fushi could technically take them.
Yeah.
So
Messar.
Renaud, Kai. Rich, and Messar.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. The funniest part was, I think I was listening to you watch it, and Justice is busting out laughing. I'm like, what? There's a scene where like they find out they're brought back to life. That's why Tasty Peach picked them, apparently. So Fushi can constantly bring them back to life. So he told Fushi some of the truth, and Fushi didn't believe it because he tried to bring March back. But then at one point, he's like, every time they die, just make a new one and cut the ribbon off them, right? So at one point, he's like, oh, it's going to take us a whole night to walk back. He's like, Fushi, let me borrow that gun. Rich grabs the gun, boom, blows his head off.
Just fucking kill each other.
The Messar's like, yo, shoot me right here. Boom,
no,
boom.
I can't do it.
So, like, they need to teleport to where they need to go, so they're just blowing their brains out. What's even worse is citizens are seeing this.
They call him a murderer.
Yeah.
Fushi a murderer.
Yeah, then because Fushi goes to shoot the guy so he can respawn. But then there's a point where the cards have just kind of got used to it. No, I can understand. It's like, how are you going to, like, explain this?
Yeah, it's wild.
So they're making the thing.
Also, Messar is now king.
Yes.
He is the king.
Well, they haven't said it yet, but he is on paper the king.
Yes.
Because the princess got infected at one point. And she lifts off her mask and they're going to do this. They're going to do this. And she kills herself.
Well, he kills her.
Did he have to kill her? I thought she had to kill her.
He had to kill her.
And like
he was trying to get Fushi
tensions have built. Like the third episode we watched, it's
Kohaku was losing his mind.
Yeah, she died. Kohaku's losing his mind. TC Peach is on this verge of telling the truth or not.
Yeah, Echo cut her hair and threw on some fucking armor and is fighting alongside, and it's like, that's a good child right there.
There was a meme I meant to send you, and it's like, every masterpiece has its cheap copy, and it's her cutting her hair, and then it's Mulan as the cheap copy cutting her hair, and I was like, oh my god, I love this show so much, and then randomly throwing in the king's death. Like, the show's done a good job of hyping you up, then bringing you down, and then beating you down with Fushi, because you're watching him do the same thing over and over and over again. Then you're beat down, he's beat down, then you have that change of King's dead, the princess is dead, everyone's going through emotional trauma, Fushi's getting killed, it's like, how's he going to get out? And then March shows up, and you're like, yay, wait a minute, that's the end?
Yeah, and like,
I'm telling you right now, anime of the year for Best Girl, March. Done. Said and done.
Mommy's here.
She gets killed right away.
God, that would suck. Yeah, so one of the big things is the king dies, and then the princess dies, and throughout these 3 episodes, we know the truth.
Yeah.
Fushi is in that weird teeter-totter position of, I can't bring people back to life. These guys are just special, like, for whatever reason, because he's not being told the whole truth. And Tasty Peach does say at the very end of this, I will tell you everything. Well, which is hell of a foreshadow for that man definitely dying.
Well, the biggest thing is Messar kind of knows.
Well, no. So the 3 of them know, because Tasty Peach told them, where it's like, look, if everything is correct, you will not die.
Yeah, but I don't think
you accept the terms, which is why they were okay with being the immortal.
But when it came to reviving the princess, he was trying to get Tasty Peach to bring her back. Fushi tried. But I feel like Tasty Peach, because remember, he can talk to spirits. Yeah. As Fushi was bringing back the princess, or trying to, you see Tasty Peach go off camera, and you don't know what he does, and he comes back, he's like, oh, she's already passed to heaven. But he can talk to spirits. So I don't know if he just said, don't come back now, or something. I don't know. But there's definitely but if it's the way that we're kind of thinking, like, if, let's say he didn't talk to the spirit, then it has to be a decision if people want to have to come back.
Yeah.
So, but.
Which is why even Tasty Peach says, like, no, the reality of, like, what's going on, like, they can choose to move on. So
yeah, so
it
it's
would
this
make
huge
sense.
limbo of multiple things going on and just being left on the cliffhanger of something's happening. The Fushi March is here. What's gonna happen?
Oh yeah,
Do
imagine.
you have your prediction before we move on? There's not much more to say.
Kohaku's gonna get fucking domed, absolutely murdered.
Who's Kohaku? Oh, that's the one with the knocker.
I hope at the very end of this, of course, the knocker is gonna die.
They gotta kill him though to end the cycle.
Yeah, Kohaku needs to go. He's insane.
Yeah, they played it up in these episodes of like, we need to keep an eye on him because he started the turn and
he started murdering the other three.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just doing it for you, Fushi. It's like, well,
it's not what it looks like. It's only their blood.
Yeah, crazy ex-girlfriend vibes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I think it'll be a thing where Fushi gets free. Maybe he gets the power to kill the knocker, and then maybe he just kills himself. Because he realized he was still in love with Fushi, and then he hurts him, and then I'm guessing my prediction for these episodes. Oh, we forgot to mention that the random fat guard dude, his love interest kind of died.
No, she's not dead. She lost an arm.
She lost an arm. I thought her passing out was just her dying.
No.
Oh.
Passing out.
Well, no, she was on the bed, like kind of in a dead stance, like, ugh.
No, just.
Yeah, she lost an arm, so.
Yeah, it's fine. She still got one more.
That's fucked. So, my prediction. So, what's your prediction first? What do you think is going to happen in these next couple episodes? We're going to find out in about 3 days anyway, so.
Well, yeah, so 3 days.
When does it come out?
I think Tasty Peach is going to die. Kohaku will die. March will die, and in desperation...
Fushi will try and bring her back again, but she won't be able to?
No, and it will work.
Oh.
And then it will realize everything that's going on.
Well, what if Tasty Peach will die, but it'll just bring him back? Maybe he won't bring him back just out of anger.
Turn into Tasty Peach, and then the actual Tasty Peach spirit will
talk to him,
reveal what's going on, and that he can bring him back.
I think.
Kohaku killing Kohaku and with the knocker spirit, because they've been linked together for so long, being able to
control a knocker or whatever with him.
Yeah, essentially.
Could be.
Because it's the mud boy or pot boy scenario all over again. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So being able to have that specific connection.
I feel like a lot of the consensus is I want to read ahead so bad because I actually have the manga that goes past this. I haven't read it. I haven't even touched it. I will probably read it after this is done to kind of see what's changed. From what I heard, it's pretty 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone agrees Tasty Peach is going to die. I think Tasty Peach will die in these next couple episodes. I think he'll die, and rather than tell Fushi the truth, he'll just go straight to heaven and just pass.
That'd be too
to maybe
cowardice.
Prevent from Fushi trying to say, because he talked about how like he's trying to protect Fushi and Fushi's sanity of like, because Fushi had that mental breakdown of like, oh, I could have forever companions. This is great. But then he has that breakdown of, but is it fair to have them as forever companions?
But the reason why all of those spirits are still with them is because they've already chosen to be that. Science. No.
Science, bitches. Hey, speaking of science, Master Stampede was a science experiment. Hey, speaking of the devil, we're talking about Trigun Stampede, baby. It's great. That's all I can really say right now is like the animation has gone up. So episode 1, it was kind of, it's kind of weird. Episode 2 got better. Episode 3, I was like, it's actually not half bad. You can tell they're CG. There are scenes in episode 4 that I'm like, I can't tell if that's hand drawn or if that's CG. But they've just mixed it so well. And I'll say for all the Trigun Stampede haters, watch it. They finally brought in the character that's on the trailer. You've seen the Trigun like posters, right? There's a guy with a cross from the original. Oh, there's a guy.
I've only seen part of the original Trigun.
It's kind of hard to watch now because it's definitely a thing of its time, but it's still a classic. I think people should watch in their journey to becoming enlightened.
Enlightenment.
Unlock. What does Zenyatta say? Tranquility, whatever. Yeah. Unlock tranquility. I think that's what it is. So Wolfwood is back. Well, he's a character now in the show. And I need to go back and actually read the manga. I skimmed through it back in the day because I was terrible at reading and never really read it. But they're introducing characters back into it that you're familiar with on there. So Wolfwood, he carries this giant cross. You think it's a cross, but it's actually a machine gun inside of it. It's super cool. It's like,
I think I remember
it's a machine gun with like a rail gun in it too. I'm like, oh, this is cool as shit. But it was a sad week for me because they played a few sad things. So they do this back and forth kind of like flash forward, flash back, where Vash saves this kid from this ultra realistic society where they need to sacrifice a kid to some wind god or something like that.
Okay.
And this kid doesn't want to be sacrificed because obviously, you know, everyone
sacrifices are bad.
Yeah, but like it's a religious cult thing, and like, they're like, oh, he need to be sacrificed. Kid runs away, and Vash is like, and you realize Vash is actually revisiting all the settlements he's been to. He just kind of protects whoever in this giant desert plain. So he met the kid as a baby. Then he met the kid again as like teenager. And then you find out this giant robot thing that attacks him when he goes back to the city. He's fighting. Find out later that's the kid. What had happened was Vash promised, hey, I'll keep you safe. If you ever need me, say my name. Kid wasn't sacrificed. He was given to this ultra society, scientific society that's trying to destroy the world, run by Knives, Vash's brother. He's turned into a science experiment, basically. And it's really cool because they actually mesh a couple things in here. How
he was a science experiment. It was really cool.
Well, the way they mesh this episode, which I think is really good writing on their part, is they're meshing Wolfwood's story in with the kid's story and how the society that Knives has created is playing all together and making like these humanoid machines. And it's like lost technology. So this kid's finding them. He's got these machine guns. And then you finally realize Vash convinces this kid, hey, I didn't, Lulu, I think is his name. No, Lulu, God, I'm thinking of Code Geass. Rolo, that's what it is.
That's also Code Geass.
Wow, fuck off. But he's like, oh, Rolo, it's me, Vash. And you have this thing where like, oh, this kid basically went on a murderous rampage against his hometown because he had no idea what was going on. He was on drugs. Like he's this big, like kind of the Bane thing, the Batman Bane where he's like really big and whatnot. And he's turned into a murderous machine. And you see Wolfwood get his gun, and you don't realize it's Rolo till the end. And you're like, oh, shoot, that's Rolo. Vash is trying to save him, keeping his promise. He's like, I'm sorry Rolo wasn't there to save you. I'm here now to save you. I'm just a little late. And then Wolfwood's like, railgun, boom, shoots him right through the head. And I was like, oh. Because you're watching Vash kind of get torn down emotionally of like, trying to save people, and it's just he gets so close and he gets beat down.
Yeah.
Just like the original series. And even I don't know, it's rough, man. Because then he tries to save this other kid. They thought the parents were dead. Turns out the kid was actually a spy for the evil organization that was trying to kill Vash and lure him in. And you find out there's these, like I said last time, there's these giant like plants that power cities, that gives them food, water, it just develops it. Well, you realize these like flower buds.
Yeah.
You just think they're like plants. They kind of look like onions. They're not. They're actually like an alien whatever rolled up in it. Then it like unfolds itself because Vash is trying to like communicate with them to save the city. That's kind of where it leaves off. So I'll know. I mean, I won't go too into it because there's other stuff. I guess no, there was a big fight. Sorry. Wolfwood has to fight one of his childhood orphanage friends. That got turned into assassin by the same evil organization that changed Rolo and himself into it. And the only reason why he did was to follow Wolfwood to make sure he's safe. He's like, oh, they have another sad thing. Well, I was just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And a whole fight erupts on this giant kind of cruise ship thing. It's not a ship, it's a land ship. It's because it's all dust. And they have to stop this evil organization that took over this land cruise that was steered off course, that's going to run into Wolfwood's original orphanage that he grew up in, and he's trying to protect it. And you have this kind of moment with Vash of like, we need to work together. And then on top of the ship is an outdated gun that no one ever knew existed. Gun starts aiming forward, and you learn more info about Woodwolf's past, and he's basically immortal. There's this drug where he can be shot like 100 times, take this drug, and he heals instantly. But his childhood friend was given the drug basically automatically, so it just kind of regens itself. And there's this cool scene where, like, you know, they're trying to turn off the steam so the ship kind of stops. And because he can heal, puts one in his mouth and like just grabs this flaming hot thing, clicks it open. Steam goes everywhere. Like, oh, everything's saved. Mazel tov, blah, blah, blah. Gets back to before that, his buddy beats him in battle. He's like, okay, come with us. You'll be safe. He has a mental breakdown, shoots himself. And then, again, Vash failed to help save a friend of Wolfwood. And it's like, God, I just feel bad for Vash because every episode tries so hard to do the right thing and save people, and it just never works. It's worked a couple times, but it doesn't work every time. So that was kind of a play-by-play, but I would say if people hated Trigun, the new series, I don't think there's any reason to really hate it. It's good, it's fun, it's enjoyable. Like, I think when it started, people were trying to review bomb, and it was at a 5 something. It's back up to a 7.37. I gave it an 8. I really, really enjoy it on there, and I hope there's a second season. Speaking of second seasons, isn't Vinland Saga got a second season?
You mean Farmland Saga, yeah.
Is he still on the farm? Because I remember last time he said they were trapped on the... Are all 3 episodes still on the farm?
Except for one episode, which follows a different group of people.
So he's still on the farm?
Yeah, they're slaves.
I mean...
They're staying on the farm, man.
Get off the farm!
You can't. You know what happens when slaves run away.
I might be American, but...
You know. So, yeah, Thorfinn and Einar still playing that farmland gang. And
this has got almost a 9 on my anime list?
Yes. It's done a great job of kind of character progressions, because when we left off, Thorfinn was essentially like being cut like continuously by...
Quick note, did you know there was a side story going on? Season 2, Vinland Saga Season 2, Drowning in the Shadow?
Yeah, it's like an O&A.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to worry about it because it's not part of like the main stuff right now.
So
Thorfinn is the main character.
Well, yeah. No, I'm just trying to get back to where we're... So they're still on the farm. They're trying. Are they trying to figure out how to get off the farm?
No. They're going to try to buy their own freedom by farming. Cutting down trees.
Why not run away?
Because the dude...
Are they branded?
Huh?
Are they branded? Or,
No. Specifically, the guy that like bought them owns a massive area. That there's like...
Some might say a plantation.
A plantation that goes on for like 10 miles in every direction.
Alabama plantation.
Roughly. But
you go walk
away. He's a fairly nice guy. He legitimately...
Justus says slave owner is a nice guy.
So, in this case, what he's done, and they're not the only ones, he'll buy people, and then he'll go, you clear this section, you farm it, whatever you farm, typically wheat, you can take some of it to keep you fed and sell the rest and use that money to pay for your freedom.
Well, he gets a portion of the profit, because how is he making any money then?
Huh? Well, yeah. So, like, because essentially, like, there's like a subsection of, so it's split into 3. Some to him, some to them, and then food. So eventually they'll all be able to, they'll both be able to buy their freedom. It's also what the dude that's basically been showing them what to do, that's what he did. He's just kind of a retainer.
How long does it take him to buy their freedom? Do they kind of mention it?
They said roughly like 3 or 4 years. So
I had no way I'm staying on a farm for 3 or 4 years.
Well, Einar grew up on a farm, so he knows how to like...
So he can kind of like cheese it a little bit or do it faster.
Yeah. And Thorfinn is crazy strong. But during these episodes, because Thorfinn, when we left off, they were the basically security that's there were like cutting him up, and he was doing the really depressing thing where he's like, yeah, I'm not afraid of death, and literally not flinching as they're like cutting him. And at one point they cut off half of his ear and he doesn't flinch at all.
He must be British.
No, he's Danish.
I'm brand new governor. Step.
like you've seen part of season 1.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot of shit. So some dude like trying to attack him, like you in season 1 you've met Thorkel, right? The giant fucking blonde-haired spiky dude.
He's like the real crazy one that like walked the ships that he walked on land, the like land ship, let's run.
Yeah, it's like
he's crazy as hell. Didn't he kill the king or something like that? Or?
No, that's Askeladd.
Oh, okay.
But Thorfinn has gone up against him and not necessarily lost.
Didn't he like cut off a finger or something?
3 fingers. Yeah. 3 fingers. It was these 3.
That dude just, if I remember correctly in that episode, he just plays off. He's like, oh, he got me good. It's like, you just lost 3 fingers, dude. Like, you can't get those back.
Yeah. So, like, Thorfinn.
I can't remember. Does he have, like, wood fingers then? Or?
I don't remember what he has now.
He just doesn't.
Yeah. So, the big thing that you're learning from there is, like, they're content. They'll just do what they have to do to basically buy their own freedom. Thorfinn has basically been a slave his entire life anyways, being drug along by Askeladd after he killed his father and then forced him like to go with. The second episode, we get Canute, the Danish king's son, the blonde-haired one.
Use your words.
Sorry. But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
That entire episode is focused on him. After the king is dead, there is no Askeladd, so we don't know what happened to him. But we see Thorkel, Canute, and like some of the original ones. Floki is there as well.
Canute, is that his sister or something? What happened?
Huh?
No, his whole family's dead, right?
Roughly.
Thorfinn's whole family.
Or no, Thorfinn's dad is dead, but that's it. Oh, okay. The sister and mom are still alive. That's why Leif Erikson's still trying to find him to take him back home. So it turns out Canute manned the fuck up, and in 3 years after his dad's death, poisoned the returning English king, his son, and reconquered the area and became king himself. And
that's off to you, king.
Yeah, and of course Thorkel is there, being like, "You fuck up once, I'll be on your ass." So
sure. Sounds like a good time to me.
So it's been interesting because I thought we were basically gonna focus on the farm the entire time, and it's like, nah, there's still some of these characters.
There's been 3 episodes about this farm, from what I've been told.
Yeah, there's 5 episodes of the farm so far. It's honestly really good though, because you're learning more. Like,
I bet you played Farmville, didn't you?
No, but you've played Stardew Valley. Shut up.
Like 10 minutes of it.
No, it's still 10 minutes.
See, this the episode title. Vinland Saga Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Use your words.
Like, shut up. Give me a moment, and you're interrupting me. Thorfinn, he's a broken person. Like, he's waking up with night terrors.
It's called PTSD, Justus.
Well, yes, he does have PTSD. And it's crazy. At one point, Einar asked Thorfinn, because Thorfinn basically, like, dodged a kick from Snake, the mercenary's, like, head. But it was one of those, like, oh, he has, like, experience people don't talk about levels of reflexes, that he's totally been in war. And Einar kind of broaches the subject, and he's like, have you ever been to war? Yes. Have you ever killed people? Yes. How many? Too many. I lost count levels of, like, responses. And at one point, Einar is choking him to death in the middle of the night as Thorfinn is having a nightmare, and eventually, like, he lets go as Thorfinn's, like, screaming, like, having his night terror. And it's like, ew. Things get rough, and then they make up. They become friends.
I was going to tell you make friends, Justus.
The, like, stuff's progressing fairly quickly. Like, even between the first time that they meet versus now, they're doing that thing where the 19-year-old's getting a bunch of facial hair, like, to show you that, hey, he's gotten older since even the last time you'd seen him, that kind of thing. Because they went from barely any stubble to a bit more stubble to now they just both have like a mustache goatee kind of combo going on. That's their way to show that time has passed a bit more, I guess. So they kind of cut out winter.
Isn't a mustache goatee combo just a goatee?
No, because this would just be a goatee. So
the goatee always had to have the mustache on it too.
No.
Oh.
No, that's why it's a mustache goatee combo. Idiot.
They look like a man with facial hair at all?
I'm sorry, you're a child. They do make friends with an old dude. Turns out he's their master's dad who originally owned the land. And the dude's real nice. Feeds him as long as he helps.
Keep mentioning slave owners are nice.
Well,
there's no redeeming factor of a slave owner being a nice guy.
Specifically, like, this old dude, he's like, hey, if you help me with just some of the chores around the house, which is established where it's like, no, you haven't gotten things from this dude. Like, he doesn't like anyone. He doesn't speak to anyone. And they're like, no, we've legitimately been helping him out. And they're like, well, you're a liar. He's like, help me with the chores around the house. I'll let you borrow a horse to plow the land. I'll let you like use the horse to be able to pull out.
I think he's plowing.
To pull out the roots, the stumps, and things like that. So by helping this old dude, it's extremely accelerated them being able to plant stuff. So even by the end of the last episode, which this is 4 episodes that I watched, they like already have wheat being planted and grown. So it's a pretty kind of consistent build up, and you're seeing more sides of characters. Einar has a little crush of a mistress, another slave, to like the main family that he's definitely gonna try to bang eventually. But the big one, the last episode, I'll try to condense it fairly quickly. But the big slave owner, Kettle,
does he have a bell?
No, he.
That was clever, and you know it.
No, it wasn't. You just like shitty puns. Apparently his, because he's a Danish soldier, ex-Danish soldier. He used to be called the...
Once a Danish soldier, always a Danish soldier.
Iron Fist Kettle is apparently his original nickname. Throughout the episode, you see like his son, who's just came back from war, is a frightening person. And then there's this subplot of these 2 children that like literally stole some flour because they're trying to feed their family and their dad ran away and mom's sick. And this like moral conundrum happening where he's like, well, I have to punish them, but I don't want to punish them. And everyone around me is like suggesting stuff. Because at one point, the son's like, well, take his arm. And he's like, the kid has a little sister, and he's like, don't harm my little sister, like trying to do that. And he's like, well, take both your arms. And he's like, now hold on a minute. That does nothing for anyone if there's a child with no arms who can't grow up to be helpful.
Yeah. Entertainment.
Unfortunately, at the very end of it, the decision was basically the kids were going to help her out around the farm, earn the wages that way, similar to the regular slave stuff. And the dad fled because he owed debts to him. The son, it was decided, we'll just beat him a little bit. 10 strikes with a stick.
Yo, so here's the stick over...
No, well, the stick was just the handle of a hatchet. Basically, they knocked the hatchet head off, and it's just the stick.
That is a club.
No, it's a big stick.
If I hit you with everything on the axe minus the actual head, that is a club, good sir. I didn't hit you with a stick.
I mean, what's the difference between a club and a stick?
A stick is like thinner than my finger.
at what point does a stick become a branch? So the son he's like, I'll be gentle. And it's like, all right, well, don't like hit him in the head. And because the dude's been to war, at one point he pulls out a necklace made of ears. So it's like he's real fucked up. He like hits the kid hard enough to send him flying with one swing. So Kettle has to take over and do it. And by the end of the episode, he's like in the mistress's bed crying, where he's like, the Iron Fist Kettle stuff, like, it's all lies. Like, none of it's true. I was never that warrior. Like, no one would ever believe it. Like, I'm just a coward. Like, I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to do anything, but I still have to do all of this. So, for what you would initially think was like, oh, this is really bad. Like, he's actually a really nice guy, and in this kind of moral conundrum of, well, if I just always let like these things go, then I'm gonna be walked over, and I have people around me. Even at one point, he's like, I'm terrified of my own son. Like, if I spoke incorrectly to him, I feel like he would kill me, and like I raised him. Those kind of problems. So he is like legitimately a nice guy and has a lot of like moral conundrums and good character building around him. That's why I'm like, he is a nice guy.
Still a slave owner. Also, if it's thicker than 4 inches, it's a log.
All right. Well, it wasn't 4 inches. 4 inches is like that. You wouldn't hold it like...
No, like 4 inches is like this, buddy.
All right. Keep lying to yourself.
Do you think they have trouble communicating and not being invisible? You didn't give me anything to go on a segue up. Plus, we got to make this quick.
Yeah, we got 20 minutes.
That was like 20 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
So Kubo won't be invisible. Man, I can't wait to see what happens next week.
Oh, wait.
They officially announced that Kubo won't let me be invisible ended. Or like this was the last episode that was out. And they're going to re-air it next season from the beginning. So we got to wait like, what is there? There's what, another maybe 5-6 weeks now?
Mm-hmm.
Then we got to wait another 7 weeks because of the weeks. So basically, we have 11 to 12 weeks before we can actually figure out what's going to happen this next episode. Yeah. They literally had a Valentine's Day chocolate video, and they're like, this is it.
Yeah. Kubo down bad. At least she even openly talked to her friends where it's like, do you have a crush on someone that you like? And she's like, him.
Listen, she extremely got caught out like, oh, what does he offer? Silence. I like him. It's like, oh, come on, woman. Name one good thing. He's like, kind of smart, adorable, takes care of his little brother when it's like, he does the whole like, attack or whatever. Transform, yeah. And then Kubo's over there just with their phone like, got the video.
Mm-hmm.
Because the kids over there like, transform.
But he also got a middle school photo of her because the older sister's creepy.
Listen, Kubo's little sister, which I don't think you saw prior to this. You only saw the 2 older sisters.
No, that's a cousin.
That's right, cousin. Looks exactly like Kubo.
Yeah, I mean, look, that stuff happens a lot.
How do you know this guy? He's the man I saw looking at a porno, man. It's like, ooh, hentai.
Yeah. Look, that shit happens. You shouldn't have been get a reputation.
Also, Junta, Junta, which is the main guy, his little sister, Sita, adorable. His little brother is adorable. Sorry, I was looking at Kubo while saying that. Is adorable.
Saita.
Yeah, Saita is, I don't know. Every time I see him on screen, I'm like, oh, it's so adorable on there, just over there like, transform.
Kubo was trying real hard to get an indirect kiss at one point. She's trying hard on lots of things. And
listen, this show is full of cliches, and I love it. Because especially the making the chocolates. I suck at it. Let your big sister show you how. And she still just kind of sucks at it.
Yeah. But she got better.
She got better.
There was one good one.
And then obviously our boy is like, I need the... So what is it, White Days when the boys give chocolates back?
Yes.
So he had to give chocolates back. He's trying to get the attention of like the shopkeeper or whatever. It's like, what's the only way I can get attention? Whenever I fall, people tend to notice me. So he falls like, I'll take that one. It's like, whatever works for you, bro.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it worked, right?
Yo, he could probably rob a place and no one would know.
Yeah, probably.
Walks in with a gun. Give me your money. Is someone there? He even gets bumped into when they're trying to have like a cutesy moment on there.
Kubo ate part of his like meat bun.
Yeah, and then he's like, going in for that.
I mean, it is mine. And then someone bumps into him and knocks it out of his hand. It's like, oh.
And then it's on the ground, and he's like, oh, I was like, boy's not down bad enough that he didn't try and go for.
Yeah, and he gets sick, and then accidentally sends a sticker.
Just over here being a little whore going for indirect kisses.
What?
When we're at the bar.
Oh, shut up.
Listen, everyone's like, why did you drink out of the straw? You're like, I'm just so used to it. And I'm like, wow, Justice.
It's a glass. Like, glasses are gross.
They're clean.
Bar glasses are gross. No, they always bring a bar glass with their hands on top and their filthy little fucking gremlin.
Their hands are covered in alcohol, a cleaning agent.
Yeah,
Oh, what now? Can't think of anything on there. Why?
Because they not a cleaning agent.
I said alcohol specifically in there. Next thing you'd be like, oh my god, Grey Goose is in the cleaning agent.
It's not. It's not.
Oh my god.
But
I don't know. I want more Kubo, and I'm not gonna get any more for like 11 weeks on there. It's the worst thing that could have happened. This is like. There's like 7 shows. There was 52 shows or 50 shows going on this entire season. There's immediately 7 that are like, hiatus. It's like...
And we only got to deal with 3 of them. Yeah.
3.
2. 3.
2.
There's Nier. There's this one. Is it just those 2?
It's just those 2. We were going to add another one. We never did. Now it's on postpone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. There was a lot of shows that we were like, oh, this might be fun on there, and then just never did on there.
Yeah. But the stickers, he accidentally sends the like,
oh, I miss you sticker.
I miss you sticker, and then she sends back, I'm lonely without you, essentially.
Yeah, and like, look how this love goes.
And then of course, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, that was my little brother, because that was the truth. And then she's over there like, oh, I'm sorry, that was my sister. And it's like hey. Then it cuts to her in the middle of school, and it's like, okay.
You know what's crazy? So I don't like to go down this path because it happens all the time of like voice actresses and stuff. I think Kubo's voice actress is pretty diverse in what she does.
Mm-hmm.
Because she did Akane from Psycho-Pass, which is a completely different way of how she talks on here. I was like,
yeah,
I would have never guessed that was her. And then she's that pink hair girl from Demon Slayer, Mitsuri. And I was like, wow, that's a whole different thing from the other thing, too.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a fun thing to point out. Like, she's a pretty diverse voice actress. And
yeah, there's one of them that's like super surprising where when hearing it, you would have never guessed. The sister is Miku from Quince.
Her name is also Miku, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of a crazy thing on there. She's also in Spy Classroom.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't sound like that.
I don't get this show. You get these people. She's also Nakabe. Like, I've heard these voice actresses in different roles. Obviously, they're voice actors, so, they can change their voice. But it's like, man, I would have never expected these actors to be doing these roles because it's just out of their normal zone of what they do.
Yeah. The friend, Tamo, she voices Nino in Quint. So that's pretty good.
That's about all I got this week on there. Keep it kind of short and simple because the show's pretty much slice of life. We were kind of looking at some of the shows.
It's slice of down bad. That's what that is.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that have been kind of showing off what's going on this next couple seasons. Isn't March 1st? Isn't like Demon Slayer doing something? It was like March 3rd or something like that.
Demons.
Some of them are starting like soon.
Yeah.
Like starting before the season even ends.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff like makes sense. Next season we'll get Demon Slayer and a couple other big, like massive ones.
Yeah,
back.
some of them will start before we actually end
Attack on Titan.
The final season, part 3, core 1.
Yeah, what?
The problem is, I hate this thing that we were talking about this earlier, and we can talk about it for a few moments of like studios getting like an idea of like, hey, you're gonna get 24 episodes, and then halfway through they're like, well, actually you're getting 13. They're like, you got to end this in 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an anime that could have been great, but they stopped it prematurely, which leaves a bad taste in their mouth. Like Black Lagoon's a great example, where season 3 is like technically is Roberta's Blood Trail, but like they stopped it kind of halfway through. Or you get like God, I'm trying to think of their name on there. Like Attack on Titan's an example of like they were told they were gonna have this, then they tried to backtrack on it, then they tried to unback the backtrack, and now it's just a shit show of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Which they're
and then Mappa just keeps getting more shows.
Yeah, I mean
they're over there like Jujutsu Kaisen, check. Attack on Titan, check. One Punch Man,
check. Berserk, check.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Chainsaw Man, check.
I'm excited because they're definitely pumping out a whole bunch of like good quality.
Vinland Saga.
Yeah. Well, I would say they're pumping out a whole bunch of good quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely studios that do it a little better, like UFO Table and Kyoto Animations. But it's like they do a lot of good content well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like super top tier out of this world, but it's like you still get what you wanted in a good format.
Mm.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. It's kind of about it.
I want to talk about that stuff. We can talk about it another time, on there.
And yeah, we should probably end it. I gotta run home.
All right, bye.
Thanks. Bye.